Hey everybody, welcome back to Feedback Loop. I'm Joey,
I'm Jeremy.
and this week we're talking about an album that I picked. It's actually two EPs.
Two EPs.
Lovers 1 and 2 by Mr. Ray Brown.
Mr. Ray Brown. That's his professional name.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess his original artist name was Ray Baboon, so Ray Brown maybe sounds more professional, so he's Mr. Ray Brown.
Mr. Ray Baboon Brown. Brown Baboon.
I don't know. I gave a weird reason for picking this last week. Like, I was just in a place and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be the good thing to listen to this week. So
I don't think that's a weird reason at all. I think that's the best reason that anybody could have for listening to music ever.
Well, you know what, I think you're probably right, and I'm just I feel weird stating my emotions so clearly.
Right. It's fine. It's good. It's good therapy then.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true, because therapy's never worked before. So might as well try it now.
Exactly.
Man.
But yeah. So Ray Brown, it's Lovers 1, Lovers 2, double EP. I separated my notes by EP, but it's kind of all homogenous. Did he release these together?
He didn't release them like on the same day or anything, but I'm fairly certain they were released in the same year. Like, right. I think they were both 2018, and I think they were both from sessions.
I have this shit up. Lovers 1 was released August 20th, 2018. Lovers 2 says it was also released on August 20th, according to Genius.
Oh my! It probably was, and I'm probably just stupid. But so, I know they were from...
It was a double EP.
Yeah.
Regardless. I guess, obviously, they were connected if he named them Lovers 1 and Lovers 2, but yeah. I didn't know if Lovers 2 was supposed to be like a sequel thing later, or if it was the same. But if they came out even within the same year,
yeah,
like it's not strange to consider them one body of work, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain they came from like the same session or like the same group of sessions. So they're... Yeah. I don't know.
Then why wouldn't he have just released an album, I guess is my question.
Well, he did release an album, and the sessions they came from, I think, went to that album. And this was just like another part of those sessions, I guess. And like some previous singles that didn't make it onto that album, maybe. Because there were some songs on here that I had heard before I had heard either of these EPs came out. So
cool. Well, let's get right into it. The album art of both really is so each EP has its own album art, but they're both pieces of what I believe is the same picture.
Yeah.
Just kind of cut, where in Lovers 1 you see a little more than half of his face, and then there's just kind of like a dark, kind of earthy background color. Like he took a selfie, or someone took a picture of him in a room that's not like a set piece perhaps, but you can just see a wall behind him. And then in Lovers 2, you can see the other portion of his head, and he's like back up against a mirror kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you also see the reflection of him, but it's it's very crisp. I like the aesthetic of it. It's very clean.
It always
him, and with some sun shining on him.
It always bugged me a little bit. Like, I like the album covers. It always bugged me a little bit that there's a sizing difference between the two pictures. So it's like,
yeah,
you can see his...
If you place them side by side, it doesn't line up.
Yeah, like his eye is way bigger, and his jawline matches up, but it's like the rest of his face is bigger on Lovers 2 than it is on Lovers 1. So it always just looks like some sort of weird funhouse picture whenever you look at it side by side.
Just don't look at it side by side.
Yeah, it's really not a situation that you're almost ever going to find yourself in, so it shouldn't matter that much. But
right. But maybe I got nothing.
Maybe
try to tie the pictures in.
Maybe if you have some real love for Ray Brown, you'll just have all of his EPs up on your wall.
I like it.
Yeah. Boom. There you go.
I don't think this was released as a physical release. I guess you could probably get a poster printout, right?
Yeah.
Poster quality printout, I should say, of these covers. So maybe it's a moot point.
But also the first track is Real Love.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. Sorry, I totally missed your segue. But yeah, so my first introduction to Ray Brown, it's got some Danny sporadic keys, kind of semi sporadic. They're not like dissonant or like all over the place kind of thing. There's a rhythm, a pattern to them, but it's kind of sporadic sounding. Got that funky bass, kind of a lo-fi beat. There's a lot of like vocal layer, like background layering stuff. That gives it kind of a Motown vibe in my mind.
Oh shit!
Which I can dig.
Yeah, Motown's good.
I really don't understand what he's saying when I'm listening to his music, because it's hitting that kind of like, the Joji, the Corbin, to play other things where it's kind of mumbly, it's kind of all slurred together and quiet kind of a thing. But I like it. I like the music. I like the aesthetic of it. So it's not really an issue. And as I've mentioned several times before, I don't really pay attention to lyrics anyway, so it's not necessarily a strike against it, but it's just an aesthetic that I picked up on.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you like at least this song. And yeah, his voice, it's something that the more I listen to him, the more I notice it. But yeah, it's very he
doesn't enunciate very well.
I don't want to say mumbly, but it kind of is. But
I definitely said mumbly at some point in my notes.
But then there's also times where it seems like whenever he if he's singing in a chorus and he has to make his voice a little bit bigger,
right.
It's not that he hits a wrong note, but it goes flat or something. It's just a little bit. But I mean, that's not something I really care about. But it's just something that listening to it more and more throughout this week, I noticed it more, I guess, whenever I was listening to
it. He doesn't have the best professional pop singing voice.
Yeah, I like his voice for its smoothness whenever he's singing lower stuff. But yeah, whenever he starts singing higher up, that is something that I noticed. But I still like it because I like the vibe of it all. It's the vibe. It's pretty cool. He's also does this the whole song. It's, I don't know. It's kind of low key. There is that Motown funky vibe to it.
Yeah.
But then he hits you with an overblown boom type sound in the chorus where it's it'll just be a random chop of a sound that's louder. And he does it in other songs, maybe more so than this song, but this is since this is the first song on the album, it was the first time I wrote down that note, but it's there'll be a really big clappy sound or something in there. And I don't know, I just like that it seems like he has a pretty big hand in making stuff like that, his music and everything. And it's always cool whenever I'm listening.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it. Did he produce all of his music too?
I don't think he produced it all on his own or anything, but I mean, he might have, I guess, but I don't think he produced it all on its own. But I know he writes it all, and I'm sure he makes most of the music and everything. So,
well, he is credited, at least on Genius, as the producer for both EPs. So,
that's cool. Yeah.
He's at least a large portion involved in the production, if that's the case. But lyrically, I'm appalled. I am shocked that on an EP called Lovers and a track called Real Love, that it's a love song.
Oh my god, I can't
absolutely
believe it.
Astonished. Could not fathom. He's talking about how he's. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say because 3 of the 6 songs on this first fucking EP have love in the title.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you came into this not expecting there to be love songs, then I guess you're like me and just a total fucking idiot. No, it was obvious. I'm being sarcastic, facetious. But yeah, he's just talking about how he's in love with someone and wants to see what comes next in their relationship. He's kind of fawning over them, perhaps.
Yeah, he wants it to be real love, not the not real love, I guess, compared to the beginning stages of something. He wants that deep down, I'm gonna wear an old T-shirt and sit on the couch and we're not gonna say anything to each other, but it's okay type of love.
Joey, are you okay? Is that what happens? Is your house completely silent now with you and Alyssa just sitting on a couch?
It's not, but that, I think that's a later stage. You see older couples that are just okay with the comforts of just like existing in the same space as somebody, and they don't have to constantly be like, hey, and we're talking about this, and we're sharing this in common, and whatever. And it's just like, we've lived together for a long time, so we know that we can just.
Maybe this is a commentary on me as a person, but I feel like that is like the first stage in which I would consider a successful relationship.
The
right?
first stage.
Yeah, like I feel like it's pretty early on in my mind, at least, when you're just like, okay, we're existing together now. We are a unit.
Well,
that
see,
just we exist independently within the same domicile, and have our own like passions and drives and motives and stuff. But obviously, there's I don't know. I feel like anything before that is more of like a dating kind of going steady kind of phase.
I guess that's true. I've like kind of never, I guess, left like, I don't know. I haven't been in a relationship with that many people, like in an actual relationship, I guess. And it was always like, most of the times it was in high school. So it was like,
yeah,
I don't know, immediately you're like, okay, we're in a committed relationship now. And like, I'm not, I don't know. I never like went on dates or anything. That was
yeah.
like,
I guess
just,
that's true. I've also never really gone on dates, so
so it was always just like, okay, I guess we're like together now. Cool.
yeah.
That's fine. but
sometimes you gotta take those relationships, and if they're too focused on the dating aspect, I guess, which is the opposite of the end goal that Mr. Ray is looking for, you got to say, maybe it's not quite right. Maybe it'll never be quite right.
And also, you might even write a song about it, and then it'll be called Never Quite Right, which is track number 2.
Well, that sounds quite right to me.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, this one, track 2, Never Quite Right. It's very soft and slow kind of deal, which is kind of his whole vibe, I guess. A lot of his tracks are kind of like slower and softer, but this one was, at least coming off of the first one, was kind of a bit more upbeat and cheery. This one's kind of getting a little more sad boy, I suppose. Yeah. This is a song where I noted, like, I still can't understand what he's saying. I wrote, is this like the chill dude's response to mumble rap?
I think it is,
like,
honestly.
Like this is kind of the sad boy lo-fi response of all of the popular mumble rap artists today, which not my thing. I honestly, I guess I can't say that. I haven't listened to a whole lot of mumble rap and stuff in that vein, but there's nothing drawing me there, I guess. Yeah.
See, I've always kind of thought they were like in a similar vein. Like, I don't know, like I always felt like the sad boy thing, like I guess it was an offshoot, which I guess is like the response. I don't know. Like, this is definitely.
I feel like there's a distinction in that, like, with mumble rap, it's weird to me because when I think of rap, I should say, it's very lyric driven.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like focused on the beat or the melody. It's more about your lyrical chops, which is like the whole basis for rap, in my opinion. So mumble rap kind of takes that in a completely different direction and emphasizes, I guess they focus more on the production side of things. Again, I haven't listened to a whole lot of mumble rap, so I'm not sure, but I just feel like it's kind of a weird distinction. But in this case, with like Ray Brown and Corbin and Joji, there's still that a big lyrical push. It's still kind of traditional songwriting.
Yeah.
I guess in that way, and that there's, I don't know, I feel like there's equal focus on music and lyrics, whereas in hip hop and rap and stuff, it's usually more focused on lyrics.
Yeah, I've always felt like to the mumble rap, this is like the mumble R&B or something type thing.
I can dig that.
This song though, like, it kind of gives it a shaky sound with this. I don't know if it's like a drum type machine thing going on in the background, but it's got like a, like, it sounds like you're taking like one of those like cups full of beads or something, and you're just shaking. A
shaker.
And shaker, the thing that you shake. But so, who was a Wiz Khalifa? He had a song on one of his albums, ONIFC, and it had a similar like beat type thing, and man, it just like takes me back to that. Like, every time I listen to this, that's all I can think of. And
interesting.
I really like that song, but it's like, as far as the music goes, during the parts where I can audibly hear it, it takes me back to it. And I don't. It's nice. I really like it. But half the time that I end up listening to this, I listen to the first two songs, then I listen to that album, and then I come back to listening to this album.
Interesting.
But
yeah, this one has it's got like a. This is the first track that he uses kind of like a simple guitar lick kind of thing, going on with lots of reverb, and this is why I chose the album that I chose for next week. But we'll get to that at the end. But yeah, he does it throughout a few of his tracks where he has a very simple guitar lick and just kind of like layers it in for progression or whatever. And I really like that aesthetic that he kind of captures with it. And then I don't know. I think it was a song. There's kind of like some weird like warped metal sound effects as well. Briefly, I know you mentioned on the last track where he kind of like splashes in some like loud kind of abrupt sound cue kind of things. And I think that's what it was on this one, was kind of like some bending kind of weird industrial metal kind of thing.
Yeah, he does that on a few songs I've noticed, which is like something that I didn't really pay attention to like a lot whenever I listened to it before. And I think it's because of how I was listening to it. Like whenever I would usually listen to this, it was a lot of times I'd do it on like whenever I was driving at night. Like it would be like I'd put on like this or Corbin or Joji. Like that's just kind of the type of music that I would typically listen to if I'm driving around at night. So like if I'm in my car stereo, like hearing it on my car stereo with the windows down, I'm not hearing a bunch of stuff like that. And then I go to listen to it this week on like decent headphones and stuff. And I'm just like, what's all this banging? What's happening?
What's all this noise? But lyrically, even before I looked at the lyrics, I wrote that the song seems to be about realizing that the relationship wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, as the prior track implied, basing that off of the chorus, which you can hear kind of clearly.
Yeah.
And the song title, Never Quite Right. But yeah, so after I looked at the lyrics, definitely it seems like their relationship isn't working out the way that he expected it to.
Yeah.
And he's not really blaming himself or blaming the other person, but they're having a breakup kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's more like just the realization. It's like, yeah, I guess we just need to dissolve this. Like, like whenever you hit the point where you're like, I think we both know that this isn't gonna work out in the long run how we both want it to. So it's probably better if we just stop before anything goes bad.
Yeah,
because the longer you wait, the worse it's gonna get.
Indeed, but maybe it did get bad. Maybe it was too late, and they were already too engrossed in being lovers, and think maybe it takes a turn. Maybe the EP and the album direction takes a turn.
Maybe it does. Maybe it does on track 3, titled "Lovers."
Yeah, it's the title track.
Boom.
I guess because we're talking about lyrics, I'm gonna go ahead and start the lyrics on this one. But this one, kind of coming off that, as I was teasing, they've broken up, it seems, and this song is where he's like maybe regretting it. Maybe they broke up in the last song, and now the loneliness is setting in with him, and he's saying that his partner has moved on, or his ex has moved on, and is being stronger than he is about it, but he's still kind of like he's realizing that he's missing them a lot more than he expected, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're caught up in the emotions, like in the moment of like a breakup, or I mean, I don't know, I feel like breakup, maybe it's just me, but it's like it always implies somebody's angry, or somebody's like did something bad, or somebody's mad at somebody else. But sometimes, like, I guess a breakup is just like the mutual. Yeah, it's just like, okay.
I think that's the case in this, and I think specifically, like, at least maybe this is me projecting a little, but I feel like the justification of it being such a neutral breakup, and then having the song where he's like realizing that he's missing his ex or whatever, it's less of like he made a mistake when he broke up with her, or him. I'm not going to judge. I try so hard to be neutral when talking about things, but it slips through. But yeah, so I think it's less that there was a fight kind of thing leading up to the breakup, and now he's realizing that it was kind of a heat of the moment decision that he regrets, and more of a like, at least maybe this is too personal, but I am usually through most of my life have been fine with being single.
Yeah.
but after dating someone for a long period of time, like last year, I broke up with my girlfriend. We dated for like a year and a half. I was expecting to be totally fine
Yeah.
after breaking up because that's just kind of who I've always been. I've always been kind of a loner thing. But I was totally wrong. Like
Yeah.
after having been with somebody for a year and a half and like living with them, there's just this weird emptiness and like void that comes with it, where you get used to having someone around almost 24/7, and then once they leave, there's like a void, like a wound that opens up there. That's kind of like, I don't know. It caught me off guard, and I kind of related with this song and feeling that like maybe that's what happened with them because it wasn't like a super aggressive breakup. It was just like, yeah, like we both understand that this isn't going to work out. And then they split, and it's like, holy shit, like I didn't realize how much of an impact
Yeah.
uh, that person had on my life, kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just to not have, and I guess I've been fortunate that this is all of my breakups have been, you know what? Actually, no. I've had one breakup that was extremely explosive, and it was just like the what you think of whenever you think of like a bad, messy breakup. And then
Mm-hmm.
one was just like me being a shitbag, and then ever since then, I haven't really like had like anything to
Yeah,
like. I've just kind of been with the same person the whole time.
yeah,
Actually, okay, thinking about, I don't know, but I've never experienced like this, like the period of where you're like living with somebody for a long time, where you're just like that
right,
with somebody, and then it's just not like there's no huge, because even having that like extremely messy, like people are yelling at each other and all this shit, like there's some sort of sick resolution to that. I feel
for
like
sure.
where it's like, okay, I'm getting it all out. This is happening right now, and these are all the reasons and whatever. But
Right.
to just have it kind of dissolve amicably is almost like I don't. It's
It's lacking a period at the end
yeah,
of at the end of the chapter,
yeah,
kind of a thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally fine now. Just to be clear, for anybody that is concerned that I'm struggling with this. This happened last year. I'm totally good. I'm right back with the fine with being single kind of deal. But there was a longer than expected period of time
Yeah.
where it fucked me up a lot more than I anticipated, and that's kind of where I related this song to, at least.
By the way, since we never haven't got to it yet, I fucking love this song. Like it's
Yeah,
such a good song.
yeah. I actually really like this one as well. The music in it. I don't know if you've played it. Have you played Hotline Miami?
I have not. I have it, but I haven't played it yet.
This track and the next track both remind me of Hotline Miami's soundtrack, where it's mostly like chill and somber and synthy and stuff, but something about it is just slightly unsettling to me.
Yeah, definitely. Like this one gets it with the. It's like the music in the background is it's being played backwards almost, and it's
Yeah,
kind of like hit reverse where it's like feeling like it's being sucked back into the instrument almost for a
yeah,
second, and like the drum is just super simple, but then
hmm
there's like this weird half bassy detuned voice like going
yeah.
like, and it
Some
just,
ambient.
yeah, it adds this weird like, I don't know, I love that feeling that I
Yeah,
get whenever I listen to it, and that comes in. It's just
yeah.
cool.
There wasn't a lot of progression in this track specifically, musically at least, which I think adds to that kind of somber feeling. But and I think the reason it does that is because I don't know, it felt like it was just wallowing in itself,
Yeah,
which kind of goes along with the lyrics. But it was just like it didn't really go anywhere
yeah.
musically. It was just kind of stagnating in its own weird, somber, sad boy stuff.
I feel like that happens a lot with it, like I don't know. There is like a through line. I feel like on it on these songs,
Yeah,
but like musically, I definitely feel like there's a lot of songs just in this general like genre that kind of just leave themselves to wallow in themselves and don't really progress much or have much going on in a
right.
greater context. Greater context.
Yeah, but Strange Love is the next track. That's my segue. It's not a segue at all. Strange Love.
Hey,
track number 4.
Feedback loop pro tip: if you ever hear us say "but you know," it means we're about to start the next.
We got to stop that. We need to get better.
Yeah.
Let's make this episode our turning point. We're gonna be better. We're gonna stop saying "but you know." we're gonna naturally weave in.
Hell yeah.
Segues like some Strange Lovers or something.
Yeah, exactly. And if shit, I didn't even know where to go for that.
Track 4, Strange Love. This one, again, I know it kind of continues that slightly unsettling Hotline Miami kind of feel with the chord progression in this one, where it does not go where you would expect it to go. It hits kind of this weird high note that catches me off guard still, like just listening to it. It's just like my brain is so programmed with, I guess, traditional or poppy like chord progressions, especially within this genre, that I was kind of like, I had an idea of where it was going to go, and then it went the opposite direction. But yeah, it's got some like, other than that, it's got some like talk boxy wahs sprinkled in that are kind of fun. And yeah, I don't know. I can vibe with it.
Yeah, it's this one always, before I paid, I guess, too much attention to really thinking about any sort of story, this song, it just sounded so different to me with the fact that like it was introducing kind of like a bongo sounding drum. There's like metallic sounds going on in the background, and it just sounds kind of off kilter. It sounded so different than kind of the slowness of Lovers, that it made me think it was almost like, I don't know, like this song is about sex, so it made me think that like he couldn't get over whoever was broken up with, and now he's like moving on to a different person, and he's like signifying that through the music, but he doesn't like it. Like that reflects in kind of the, I mean, it's called Strange Love, and in just the general strangeness of the music, he's just like, I don't think I want to be doing this, but I'm doing it. And but it's weird how he talks about it as and when we make love, but I don't know, the song doesn't reflect somebody who is in the act of making love. It reflects somebody who's like gone for a rebound, I guess, and is kind of being like, what's happening.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I kind of picked up that it seemed more to me like it was a one night stand kind of thing, where he's maybe pretending the other person is his ex, because he's not totally over them, and he's just kind of in this weird mental kind of, he's conscious of what he's doing, but like you said, it's not really like he still craves some sort of physical like affection, I guess.
He needs some sort of comfort to
he needs someone to hold him.
Definitely. He's out there just literally saying, hold me.
Yes, and like in track number 5, Hold Me.
Boom! There we go. That was better. I mean,
it was better. We're working on it with baby steps.
If we can get that much better every single time, we're going to be pros by
the end of this episode.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
But Hold Me, track number 5. This one's got kind of a floaty, light synth melody to it that I really like. I feel like listening to this track within like a sensory deprivation tank would be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It's got like those wavy kind of synths going on, where it's like, I hate like saying 80s, because it's kind of, I don't think it is 80s. I think it's 80s inspired, and it's the way that like people who are making like vaporwave now like to
it's a resurgence of that kind of sound, I guess.
But it's cool, and I love it. And it makes me want to go into a sensory deprivation tank, and just because now that you said that, I'm thinking of so many songs that I feel like absolutely.
Yeah, we need to get one. So guys, please subscribe, buy our merch if we have any at the point that you're listening. Give us enough money that together we can afford a sensory deprivation tank, and every week we can listen to full albums in there. And
oh my god,
totally different podcast.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I probably would. I'd just fall asleep, I feel like.
Yeah,
or freak out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think we should maybe we'll do a vlog. We'll have a vlog channel too at some point.
There we go.
Where we go to a sensory deprivation place, because I think you can rent them, right? Like for
Yeah.
like an hour or something, or not renting, I guess, but it's kind of like going to a tanning bed kind of a thing, where you go to a place and you spend some money for an hour of access or whatever to just kind of float.
Yeah, I'd spend a little bit of extra money on that because I don't want to just like go to some dude's house and him be like,
Right.
I converted my spare
My
boiler
hot
into
tub. Yeah.
It's like it's got a lock on
But
the
if
outside.
I'm sure they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
But if we could afford it with the podcast budget, I'd be all about it.
Hell yeah. Well,
We don't
that's
have a budget right now,
yeah.
to be
But
clear.
maybe one day we will.
Maybe one day.
Or maybe one day we'll just somehow make enough money through other means that we can afford it.
Yeah, we can dodge all sorts of taxes by spending our money on things like charity.
And then we'll really have to get out of Dodge. And
Stop dodging the segue. Track number 6, dodge.
Holy shit. This one. I like this one just because it's so like, okay, this is going to sound really weird, but the sound at the beginning, like whatever he's doing, whatever sample he's got, it sounds like a laughing bird. And it's just like this high pitched kind of like like type sounding thing, and it makes me think of a laughing bird. But then these steam engine sounds come in, like something is releasing steam, like pressure, like brakes on a semi or something, and it just starts sounding like mechanical. But then the laughing bird part throws me off because I'm like, am I in the jungle or am I in the concrete jungle?
That's deep, man. I kind of interpreted those pinging noises, the high pitched, as like an alarm kind of a thing, because it's very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I guess you would expect in music, but like, I don't know, it kind of came off as like an alarm deal, and then the steam machine stuff
oh shit, dude.
the steam machine stuff kind of comes in, but it kind of gave me like this anxious energy to it, with it being like just like, I don't know, because again, I thought it was like an alarm kind of a thing in my brain, and it kind of like spazzed me out a second.
Oh yeah, to go back to the steam, that just to make sure everybody knows, that's the Daft Punk song that you absolutely hate, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Daft Punk song. I love Daft Punk, but Steam Machine,
you don't like that song.
I hate it. I hate ASMR.
Yeah,
and I wonder if it's a similar thing in my mind that fucks me up. But back to the song.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody.
Yeah, just announce to the world. So now, whenever we blow up, if we blow up, people are going to be tweeting me that song daily. But
exactly.
Yeah, I really love this song. I think this is my favorite one on Lovers 1.
Oh shit.
The synth bass in it that comes in is just fucking awesome. He brings back that reverby guitar with like another simple lick that hits the vibe of 2 Feet, who I mentioned during Still Woozy, and spoiler alert, that's who we're going to be listening to this week. This song specifically solidified to me that we were going to do a 2 Feet thing next week.
Hell yeah. I like that guitar. It's like, it feels the same thing as like whenever I talked about the really like clappy, I guess, sound, because it's like really twangy, I guess. Like it's got a high attack, like it feels like it's punching or something. But my favorite part, because I do really like this song, like this and Lovers are probably tied for my 2 favorites on the first EP. Mm-hmm. And it's whenever like the whistly part comes in, and it's so cool how the song changes whenever that part comes in.
I did also know that this one, like, contrary to a lot of the songs on this EP where there's a very simple progression or there's no progression, this one definitely has, I think, the most progression out of any of the tracks, and a lot kind of this build up to it.
Well, that ends off Lovers 1, and we're gonna start Lovers 2 now, I guess. Is there anything you'd like to say before we start?
Nope. I kept all of my overall notes for the end. I didn't want to comment specifically on Lovers 1, but pretty solid so far.
Solid like some sort of candy.
I was wondering what was going to happen here. There's no way to smoothly segue into track number 1 of Lovers 2, which is Chaplin Candy.
Chaplin Candy? Like Chaplin, like a church guy?
Yeah.
That's Chaplin?
I guess. Yeah, Charlie Chaplin.
There we go. That's probably closer to what it is.
I don't think that's accurate, because I'm pretty sure Chaplin was spelled with an I instead of an A.
That's, I think you're right. That sounds right. But this song, it starts off in a similar way as Lovers 1 started off with Real Love. It's got like a little bright piano part coming in right to start it off with Chaplin Candy.
Yeah,
And
this one definitely gave me like immediate like Joji plus Corbin equals this kind of vibe. And that like the vocal melody specifically reminded me a lot of Why Am I Still in LA by Joji on
oh
Lovers
yeah.
One. But yeah, it's got that kind of the vibe that we've talked about throughout a lot of Lovers One. I really like the echoey kind of boops that happen. He does a lot more boops and beeps on Lovers 2, it seems, than in the first one that I noticed anyway.
Yeah, I think he does. Like I don't I've always been under the impression, and I'm pretty sure I read that they were like from the same session, but they're definitely different enough musically to make me think that he had some sort of like progression in style between the two.
Right.
But this song is also a pretty old song. Like he so it doesn't I don't know if the rest of them are also pretty old songs. Like this song, I think it came out, let me check. Yeah, 2016. This song originally came out in 2016 under a different under his like other name. He used to go by Arlo Vermain,
and also Ray
Baboon, which is also the name of his like first EP or album or something.
It's a man of many names.
Yeah, he is. And he's also childhood friends with Joji, so you know.
Well, it all makes sense.
Yeah. Yep.
So I wonder. Nah, I'm not gonna kick that hornet's nest just quite yet. But yeah, so lyrically, this one it seemed to be a continuation of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Lovers 1, where he wasn't quite over his ex and just trying to fill the gap. This song, he's kind of talking about him lying awake at night and kind of just feeling broken and missing his ex. At least that's what I got.
Yeah, I'd say that's it. And with his lyrics, I feel like there's not really. It's pretty what you see is what you get, or what you hear is what you get, I guess.
Right.
Like I don't think there's a lot more to it, but I don't mind it because I do like the music. I like the way he sings, and the music itself, I feel like gives off enough emotion.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I don't have to be thinking like, oh, there's 5 layers to this. It's so deep.
But. Right. You could probably find like a robot online or something that you could just type in a song title of his and it'll spit out lyrics. For whatever the song is. It's maybe that's what he did. I doubt it, but you could easily use some sort of AI to generate the lyrics. They're kind of simple.
But you know. Oh shit! Oh my god! You fucking pulled one over on me, and then I looked over at my notes. Track 2 is AI.
Yeah, you did the but, you know, like you were about to try and figure out a segue, but I was already there.
Holy shit, Jeremy, you're a master.
Every track a little bit better, a little bit better.
Hell
we had a setback with Chaplin Candy. We're back in it.
Yeah,
AI is a lot easier to segue to than Chaplin Candy.
That's for sure, and it's also a lot simpler even in lyrics, I think, because half of the lyrics are just the same thing. But
which I'm not crazy about that kind of lyric writing.
Yeah.
But the song I really like. I think this is my favorite song on EP2.
Oh maybe? Shit!
I don't know if I like it better than Dodge from Lovers 1, but I think this is my favorite song on Lovers 2. It's got like a lot of vibraphony kind of sounds where it's probably not an actual vibraphone.
Yeah.
But programmed one that's like upscaled or higher or whatever. But it's very kind of like soft and like metallic. So it evokes those vibraphone kind of memories for me. But it's got a lo-fi kind of beat under it, which a lot of his music does. I really liked the last section of the song, which I mean, I know you know the lyrics, or you said that the lyrics don't really change a lot, but like the last phrase that he repeats, I guess the music kind of changes, and I really like that kind of the sound that he hits there.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm both like at the same time I'm sad and glad that this song's only 2 minutes long because I want it to be longer, but I know if he would have made it longer, it wouldn't have the impact on me that it does. But this song, whatever that vibraphone or like xylophone-y sound, like bell. It's not like a xylophone, but it's like a bell type sound or something that goes on in the background. It reminds me of this band or a musician, I don't know, Seven Arc, and it's like just a super cool sound, and just everybody, all you Seven Arc fans out there, know that I'm going to make Jeremy listen to one of their albums at some point in the future.
Okay.
Because of this song is why I brought it up. It's because I heard this and I was like, yeah,
well,
that's
hey,
going to happen.
I really like this song, so hopefully I really like Seven Arc as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have too much to say lyrically because it's I mean, I guess I shouldn't say it's all just repeated, but like the first line is just repeated and the word love is just repeated like 7 times in that line. But I
wasn't sure. So this is the first one where I was like, I don't know if this is explicitly tied in to the story of the prior EP, but I think it could easily either be a prequel to Lovers One, or it could be like, where it is placed within the chronology of the album. But he's talking about longing for someone to love him the way he sees other people loving each other.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, where he's a little jealous and a little lonely and just kind of like wishing he had that kind of movie romance or something.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if I know I shouldn't be like reading too deeply into this, but just the name AI and talking about how he's just like watching people have relationships, it makes me think of a robot who's which, I mean, that's surely what he was going for, but I picture an actual robot like sitting and watching people, and it's just a cool visual.
I want to love, but I am robot. I cannot love.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe my love line was too low.
Yeah, he's
and I don't.
I mean, it was close. It was, I respect it, and the fact that you did so good on that last one. And
you're supposed to improve every time. That was not an improvement.
Yeah, but that was a lofty goal set by me, who has not stepped up to any of them so far. So
it's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
This song
eventually you'll make it. Track number 3 is Low Line.
Yeah, Low Line. We didn't even say it. What the fuck are we doing? But this song is it's like 1 minute and 36 seconds long, like super super short, and it's pretty one note in this. I mean, obviously, I guess it couldn't really change too much in 1.5 minutes. But what it does have, I really like. It's got like a big washy sound that kind of blows in. And I don't know what kind of drum it is. I mean, I know
it's definitely an 808.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I like it a lot, which, I mean, sure, who doesn't like 808? So I guess that makes sense.
Go listen to Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreak. You'll get all of it.
Have I ever? I don't think I've ever listened to that song.
Huh? You should. We're probably not going to talk about it on the pod. Well, maybe we will. We'll see. Stay tuned to find out.
Maybe.
It's very, that sound is all over that album. Cool. But yeah, this one I really liked it. It has those 808s. It kind of has the flute/wind instrument kind of thing, which in my mind, just the melody and like just the whole ambience of it kind of gave me like this African sunset kind of vibe, where it's like the Lion King sunset kind of thing, where it's just kind of peaceful and chill, and the sun's just going down. But like I said, it's very short, so it's hard to get a lot of significant conclusions from it.
Yeah.
But lyrically, he's reflecting on why he's unable to find a meaningful relationship with someone, is at least what I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it really seems like that's all he wants at this point. I mean, he's written like, 9 songs about it.
All I want is for him to be happy.
And maybe it'll happen in next track.
Number 4? All I want?
Track number 4. I almost said track number 10.
But did you write your notes in that fashion?
I didn't, but I was just keeping track in my head of how many songs we had talked about. I was like, track number 10. Wait a second.
Joey's brain is so sophisticated, he's tracking 2 different numbers at once.
And it's the wrong ones.
Well, I mean, they're both accurate, right? It's the 10th one we're talking about. It's the 4th one. All I Want is track number 4 on this one. Pretty spacey, pretty kind of 80s pop-esque. The we kind of touched on earlier. It's kind of got that synth wave kind of, or not really synth wave, I guess, but very very 80s synthy
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. But I really like the talk about the sound effects that are that he kind of sprinkles in a few times throughout songs. This one has this like 3-note drippy sound kind of thing.
Yeah.
That he drops in like twice in the song around like the middle of it or whatever. But I really liked the kind of flavor that added to it.
Yeah, it definitely. I guess I'm not going to attribute this feeling to that sound specifically, but I like the way that the song feels, where it feels like it's switching between happening around you and happening inside of you. Like
Yeah.
it feels like you're surrounded, but then it also feels like the song just like entered your brain for a second, and then it'll like switch. Like I don't know if that's a thing that's done in production or if that's a thing that like he just did with the way that he wrote the song. But it feels like the song is switching between being in my headphones and being in my brain whenever I'm listening to it.
I definitely didn't pick up on that, but maybe going into it the next time, maybe I'll listen to it again tonight and see if I can understand. See if I want to understand you, Joey, you foreign alien monster creature thing.
Oh my god, I'm too big brain for this.
Yeah, you're some advanced alien civilization that just came to Earth and for whatever reasons talking about our Earth music on a podcast and how it affects your alien brain. But lyrically, this one, it kind of came full circle for me with the theming, where it felt very similar to Real Love, which was the first track on Lovers 1, where he's kind of just talking about how he'd do anything for his lover. Kind of a deal. Within the context of the full body of work, I think perhaps this is just further driving home the fact that he's not really over his ex and is maybe trying to win them back by expressing his love.
Yeah, I got the feeling he was trying to win her back, or I did it too. But why trying to win them back and just I don't know. It seems like a very declarative, like you're all I want, and then where he in the background is saying nothing more or less.
Yeah.
Talk like, and I can only imagine him saying this directly to the person, like just trying to convince them, like, yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be together, and we're just gonna leave, and it's gonna be awesome, and that's all we need. All we need is, and it seems like
all you need is love.
It seems like he's convinced himself, like
right.
the breakup was amicable. It dissolved instead of it burned out like a fiery explosion. It just it kind of just they both accepted the fact that like yeah, this isn't just going to work out, and it's like that has clouded his judgment to where he's now convinced himself that like the fact that happened meant
they were taking a break and not calling it quits.
Yeah, like he was like, yeah, it was just time off, and the fact that we didn't have that big breakup means that it really shouldn't have just happened, and we should just go back to the way things were because it was fine. And
yeah, it could definitely be interpreted that way. I think personally, he just needs to learn to let go a bit better.
Yeah, for real. Like that's really what all this has been about. He can't let go.
Like track number 5.
Let go. Boom.
I really like this track. It has this clean piano that comes in, and in the background, there's some very quiet, kind of spacey synth babbling kind of loops that are going on in the background. That kind of, it's very subtle, but I think it adds a lot of depth to the music.
I agree, and I spent so long trying to search for how to describe it. And it sounds like some sort of like old piece of audio equipment is searching for a signal, and it's just kind of battling. Yeah. I didn't want to say like staticky or anything or scrambly because that makes me think of like the like white noise, which it's not, but it just sounds like it's constantly changing, like you're holding your finger down on like a radio button, and it's changing the channel like at light speed, and you're just hearing like a clip of everything.
Right, you're kind of just booping around in the background, but this one seemed to have more of a focus on his vocals, at least compared to a lot of his other stuff. So it seemed less mumbly to me, and I was able to make out more of the lyrics to it. I don't know if maybe at this point in the album I was just like adapted to it, but it seemed like it was easier to understand him in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I can generally understand what he's saying, but I don't know if it's because I've listened to all these songs so much that I just it's kind of like listening to metal or something, where
Right.
eventually you just know what they're saying and you can understand it. But yeah, this song I do like how it leaves his voice is pretty much at the forefront, and then the part that I like the most is the swelling strings towards the end. That just like, because I mean, to start off, yeah, it's just his piano, it's just the piano and his voice, and like really low key, and then all of a sudden the strings just build up to this huge build up, and then just release out of like, and that's that, and it's back, and I don't know, it's just cool.
It is cool. It's something that he doesn't do on any of the other songs on the album, which makes it kind of stand out a little bit better. Lyrically, I think the song specifically, the lyrics refer back to Lovers One a lot. Specifically the first track, where he's like, he makes a lot of lyrical references in a slightly different context. Where this one, it seems like he's at the penultimate step in getting over his ex, where he's like ready. He's not sure if he's ready to move on, but he's like right there at that edge where it's just like, I'm so close. I want to let go, but I don't know if I can right now.
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
But wanting to do something is at least the first step to actually doing it. So
it's true.
Maybe
he's close.
Yeah,
very very close.
Very close to the outro of this relationship that he was in.
Good one. I was about to give up on that one. Track number 6.
Outro. Boom. And it's the last track.
Simple. I would hope so. If somebody named a non-ending track outro, then I'd be a little salty, honestly.
But yeah, this one, it's like, not to say scattered piano, but it does start with piano, and it kind of like seems like somebody's just like brushing across the piano.
Kind of a weird energy on it.
Yeah. And it's haphazard to say it a little bit. It's got like some bass underneath it that sounds, I don't know, it just goes with it, and it gives it a really weird energy, like you said. I don't honestly know how to describe it that well, because it's weird because it takes me back to like a time in my life at like between 2011 and like 2013, just like the type of person that I was then. But this style of music wasn't really like a thing that, at least that I knew of. I mean, maybe I'd listened to stuff that was maybe like a precursor to this, but this exact type of music or anything that sounded like this wouldn't have been playing in my car at the time that my mind takes me back to. But I don't know what kind of energy he captures in here, but it's just it's weird. It's a weird feeling.
It's young Joey energy.
Yeah. Not good energy.
Just hectic.
Yeah.
High school. I guess you were around that time. You were a senior, right?
Yeah, I graduated in 2012, so it's like right smack dab in the middle of that time.
Interesting. I don't think we didn't really like. I think that was the one year that we didn't. Well, I mean, I guess really we weren't super good friends until like 2013-ish. I don't know when you started working at the pizza place, but
it was
we had known each other, or at least knew of each other while we were in high school. And that year, because I'm a year ahead of Joey, or I was a year ahead of Joey.
Not anymore.
In school year wise, I mean, it's all irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than you. I did that. But so I graduated in 2011. And then Joey had his whole senior year during that time. So I have no context on the kind of person that you were, other than what you were before that point and what you were after that point.
So. Yeah, I guess, it was 2012. I started working at unnamed pizza place.
I don't know why we don't name it, but it's not like it matters.
It's because at some point we need a brand deal, and we can't be giving free advertisement.
I feel like we mentioned other brand names on the show before.
I'm sure we have.
I mean, we ditched the whole music service thing. Like, I always refer to YouTube Music now because that's what I listen to.
Yeah,
it's spoofy. Yeah,
definitely. But we don't need to talk about who I was whenever I was.
But yeah, lyrically, there's not a lot of lyrics on this one.
Yeah,
I feel like I disagree with what Genius has transcribed.
Yep, I do too.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. So they have "If I Let You Down." No, wait, they have "I've Let You Down," But the way I hear it is either If I Let You Down or Have I Let You Down.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the I kind of leads in with like a f sound.
Yeah. I definitely think it's If I Let You Down. And I don't know why they've just... Because that doesn't even seem to work syllable-wise. Like, if you're just listening to it, if I were to try to put, like, sing I've Let You Down along with the music, right. If I Let You Down, or I didn't even think about Have I Let You Down, but that would also work better than I've Let You Down.
Right. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know who submitted those lyrics, but they're wrong.
Yeah. Let me see. He didn't verify
two contributors.
He didn't verify him. He verifies a lot of his Genius lyrics. Like, he'll go on there and be like, "Yep, this is right." He didn't do this song.
One because they were wrong.
They're fucking wrong. I'm gonna go fix this. I'm gonna fix this before this episode airs, and then people aren't gonna know what's going on.
Well, I mean, we already told them what it says and what we think it says, but I'm glad we're on the same page. This one, it seemed kind of like just kind of a quick final thoughts track where he's kind of blaming himself for either letting his ex down or letting himself down. I wasn't really sure who the target was or who he was referring to that he let down, but he's just kind of being down on himself.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant his ex in the relationship, his ex after the relationship, or himself after the relationship. Like, he should have been able to react. Things. Yeah, like, he should have been able to either fix things, react to the whole situation in a better way, or like he feels like he should have been able to just go on with his life or something.
Yeah. Overall, though, I liked Lovers 1 better, I think, as a full body of work. Mm-hmm. They're both solid as a combined work. I think it makes sense to listen to them back-to-back. Lots of those Joji and Corbin vibes, which not a complaint at all. I don't know. I feel like I would rather listen to Corbin at this point, but that's just because I preferred the Corbin elements of this than the Joji elements, which, I mean, again, not shitting on Joji or anything, but there's a hierarchy in my mind. Or at least a scale. Let's say it's like a scale. On one end is Joji, one end is Corbin, Ray Brown somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And I tend to lean towards the Corbin side of the aesthetic here.
Yes, come towards the Corbin side.
Yes, the Corbin side of the musical force.
Yes. I love Joji, but I'm not like Corbin. It just scratches an itch. Yeah. He's great.
Can we just talk about that album again? Because that was...
I mean, we can't. He's
fantastic.
we can talk about the Mourn 2016 album that he released because he like got locked out of his music, like his accounts and stuff, and he just was just like, whatever. Here's like some B-sides to Mourn 2016. Like, didn't even give any sort of like heads up. It was just like, yep, there you go. And then he just like deleted all of his stuff and then came back like 3 times. He's a nut, dude. He's an absolute...
But he makes good music, and he's a great vocalist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even if he doesn't have a great voice.
Listen to Corbin. Also listen to Ray Brown, but listen to Corbin too.
Also listen to Joji. Listen to every episode and every artist that we've ever talked about, except for Hella.
Yeah. No, listen to Hella too. You got to take the good with the bad.
I'm just joshing you.
I know you're not.
I mean, I don't like it, but I think everyone should listen to it because you don't know where you stand until you hear it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I haven't really been in the mood for this kind of music this past week, so it didn't hit the way I know it could have.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to revisit these at some point when I'm feeling like a sad boy at some point in the future.
Well, what are we listening to next week?
Oh yeah, we gotta wrap this up the good old traditional way. Next week, we're gonna be listening to 2 Feet. 2 Feet's the artist name. I'm not super familiar with the album I've picked because I'm not super familiar with any of his full albums. I've heard singles, and I really like the aesthetic that he done. And I've listened to his albums, but I've never been like super into them. But the one we're doing next week is called "A 20-Something Fuck" by 2 Feet, which I know probably sounds kind of like a string of random words. So I'm just going to repeat that. It's a 20-something fuck. Like he's calling himself a fuck and he's in his 20s or whatever. But yeah, I think that album kind of hit the spot. It's pretty short. It's 20 minutes long-ish, 8 tracks. So pretty quick, simple, to the point. It felt like a natural extension of this kind of Ray Brown and even some of those Still Woozy vibes that we did 2 weeks ago.
Well, hell yeah.
So we're gonna keep down this track, this train track for a little bit, not musical track, and see where we come out next week. But yeah, I don't want to sell this short. I do like this album, but I haven't. I would not consider myself a fan of 2 Feet in that I haven't listened to a lot of his music a whole lot. So if you hate it, I'm just hedging my bets here. If you hate it, don't blame me, because
who would they blame? Blame 2 Feet, I guess. That's what Jeremy's saying.
Blame 2 Feet. I got no answers for you here. Listen to his album first.
Yeah.
Don't just shit on him. Like I really do like his music. I feel like I'm dancing around that in ways that I probably shouldn't be. But yeah, I like it. So we're listening to that. We're gonna talk about it next week. You guys come back. You listen to that album with us, or listen to these Ray Brown things. Let us know what you think of our podcast, of the albums, of the format of everything.
Of us.
Got any complaints of us as people? You know, if you want to pick a personal fight with us on the internet, feel free. We're on all the social medias.
Make personal assumptions about both of us.
Yes, please do that, because that'll end well for everybody involved. But I don't care. I mean, as long as you stay in our feedback loop.
And bye, also.